A very good morning to everyone. My name is Dilip Achtani, and I'm the here at CMEDU. Today we have a very interesting webinar for all of you. Uh, a workshop or a webinar that we used to do pre-pandemic, which we've now converted into a webinar format, and we call it Creative Careers, and primarily after 12. So in even in today's era where technology is so uh, advanced, and we have so many new avenues happening, a lot of us in the system or in the education system, or our rather even our education system, focuses a lot on traditional careers. And that is why you see the rising number of colleges, or even students opting for careers in engineering or medical or management, uh, and especially in our times, back in late 90s and early 2000, creative careers were considered as a big risk, or some you had to be really a good artist to be identified as, okay, somebody who could work in the creative space. Not everybody would be encouraged to go into the creative avenues. But obviously, with technology, a lot of things changed, and creative careers became accessible to a lot of people. Even you do not have to be the best artist to become a successful creative person in the industry, or you do not have to be world best photographer to have a sustainable life as a creative individual. There are so many different avenues even in the creative domains, and our objective today in this 1 hour is to highlight few of them to you, so that if at all somewhere remotely you feel that, no, I do like a certain, I do have a certain inclination towards maybe on the art side, or on the production side, or uh, gaming side, or I do like animation, then I would like to explore those avenues. These avenues are equally satisfying, not just in terms of the work satisfaction, but also in terms of the monetary satisfaction, or the financial stability that brings along with this. In fact, to be honest, when pandemic hit, so many jobs were lost. uh, but in the media and entertainment industry, the visual effects industry, the anime, the gaming industry, not even a single job was lost, because the entire shift from working traditionally to people were working out of home, people had time, people were playing games, people were creating content. So the entire work shifted from home. So a lot of gaming companies, or visual effects companies, in the earlier time, visual effects companies, I'm sure my team and my colleagues will tell you about it, but because of the security of the data, when people work on Hollywood movies, or OTT platform has come in, so much data goes into it. So everything was secured, and everybody had to go to office to work in a secure environment. But now everything has become remote. Even the security to ensure that the data does not get breached has been taken care, and a lot of VFX artists are working from their own homes, in fact from their own towns. So a lot has changed in the last 20 years, especially in the media and entertainment space. All right. So, welcome everybody again. And I hope this in the next 1 hour you would have, if not a lot, a little information about uh, the creative careers that are available to you after 12. Uh, we at CMedio, we've been in the business of education since the last 14 years, and we work with university partners to deliver these programs. And we've got undergrad programs in filmmaking, photography, visual communication, journalism, game development, visual effects and animation, game art, and many more. So that all information would be given to you by my team. All right, so let's jump directly into the first avenue: game development. Game development is, or rather gaming, let's call it gaming for now. I'm sure everybody here uh, has played at least one game in their life? I'm not talking about hardcore gaming or gaming competition. Is there anybody? Or let's do this. I don't know how can I see the chat section. Maybe. Monish, can the guests chat with us? Hello.
Hi Deep. So we can definitely unmute them if they want to say anything.
No, not say. Can they send in a chat message? Is that
Yeah, they can. They can.
Yes,
they
they
can?
can definitely do the chat.
Super. So with just like 1 minute to spare, can you quickly, all the participants, tell me that one game that you have played in your life? Just one game. I'd like to see what all games come in. We've all had played games somewhere in our life, be it especially during pandemic. This Ludo game became like a Ludo King, I think, became a huge hit, developed by 3 or 4 people team, and a very simple mechanic, and it was a rage all over the world. Games like PUBG, Valorant, Rocket League, different genres I'm talking about. And gaming is not just now, since decades, games have just become more immersive and more engaging towards this. So, and game development, back when earlier there were all international companies, Sega, Ubisoft, everybody was, either the hub was Canada or Japan, and Europe, uh, Belgium, and all these places. That these were the countries that were making games. So if I want to make a career in game, I had to be abroad. Cut to now, 2020. Major of these companies either directly work in India or have a vendor or a partner that produces content for them. Now, in game development, there are two facets to it. One is the actual development side of things, where somebody who's from a science background and likes to or has some form of experience in programming, C++, understands or has an analytical bent or likes to go to the technology side of things, does not look at art form as an inspiration, but wants to likes solving problems. Game development is definitely a thing for them. Somebody who over here in this call is really excited about making games, creating levels, solving complex problems. I think you should definitely try out one or two simple engines that will help you to start developing games right from today. So Tanmay, can you move forward? So we've got, in game development, there are so many different avenues now that are there. Earlier, the games are only played on consoles or those handheld devices, but now mobile. And a country like India, where everybody owns a mobile phone. It's difficult to put food on plate sometimes, but it's easier to find a mobile phone in a person's hand. That too with a smartphone right now. Everybody has access to phones, and everybody has access to free playing games, and these free playing games are a huge, or rather India, after maybe China, is the second country in the world which has a huge demand for mobile games, and that is why international players come to India to develop games for Indian context. In fact, there are two big companies in India who are working out of Pune. I'm sure everybody's here heard of Dream 11, right? So Dream 11 is setting up their own game company called as Dream Games right in Pune, in Baner. And they have tied up with people like Sachin Tendulkar, and then they're making, like, back in the day we used to have games by Brian Lara, cricket games. Now you'll have games by Sachin Tendulkar. Or there is another company called as Jet Synthesis. They have tied up with international players like Messi and Ronaldo, and they're making mobile games with their real avatars. So mobile is, right now, we are just at the bottom of the hill, of the uphill, or of the growth that is going to be seen in the mobile gaming space. AR/VR is definitely huge, not just for playing casual games, but in simulations, in aircraft simulations and all, where you can actually feel that you are actually inside an aeroplane. So if you're going through a pilot training, instead of actually spending time on live flying a plane in real life, you would be inside a simulation. And companies that make rockets, that makes aeroplanes, or or have training academies, training pilots, they use a lot of this. So they are now recruiting game developers, people who understand these engines, to work and develop models for them. Obviously, PC gaming has been there forever. PC and console gaming has been there forever. But primarily, if you are somewhere who loves playing games and have an analytical bent, or likes maths, physics, likes to solve problems, I think game development is at a stage where it is booming like anything. You go find any game development company in India and see the amount of positions that they're actively recruiting. And that too, not just because you're maybe everybody here is in 12th. In a span of 3 years, when you're actually be eligible for recruitment, you will be surprised that even before you get complete your program, you will be picked up by companies. And that's what's happening with us, with our students right now. They've already been signed up by companies like Sumo Digital, Reliance Games, for their 6 semester internship. And apart from that, they already do their internship during the break period of their program. So game development is one career where right now it's an absolute boom right now, and it's a perfect time to be in, when a lot of international companies are slowly coming to India and setting up their bases in Pune and Bangalore especially. So yeah, so and if you want to try something out immediately, obviously we've got our Engage program where we give, we've got a Gear Up, which is a free of cost weekend program where we'll just introduce you to these game engines. But we also have an Engage program, which is a month long, in which you will be learning a little about Unity 3D, which is a game engine. But obviously, it doesn't stop there. You can, play around with any game engine you like. Obviously, it will be a learning curve, free of information. A lot of information, free of cost, is available in the market. You can have access to them. And yeah, I think just check out few engines if you want, like Cocos 2D, Unity 3D, Unreal Engine. Unreal is a little more advanced, but if you want to try out, and if you want to see how it is, watch a lot of tutorials. I'm sure if you've got an inclination towards it, you will find a way to learn it. So, all right. So yeah, so that's about game development. I think I'd like to invite Purva now.
Thank you, Deepak.
Over to you, Purva.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Purva Gadre, and I'm from the photography department. So, primarily, I am a photojournalist and a documentary photographer, and I've been practicing for over 10 years now. And I have been in the field of education for past 7 years, and that's exactly why I am here today. Talking about photography and it as a career, I think today photography is something that each one of you is familiar with. There are so many terms that all of you already know. Everybody now carries a camera, carries a phone which has a camera. You can shoot pictures on the go every single day. Constantly we are surrounded by so many images which are floating across on our social media platforms and everywhere. So the visuals are there, but there are a lot of times when we see these photographs, we are not aware of who has captured it, or sometimes there are images that we relate to, which we find extremely you can say relatable, or something which is beyond our imagination, and the mind that goes behind it is something that comes from a lot of practice and from a place where you want to learn the art of photography. So photography is a unique blend of technique and art. This is one art form which has a 50-50 percent weightage, where you need to understand the technique and you need to understand the aesthetics also. You can be great at aesthetics, but you can fail at the technical side, and the other way around. So learning photography and why it is important, it is for these factors, to get the right balance between the technique and the skills and the aesthetics of it. So at CMEDU, what we do is we make our students understand photography from a very, very practical perspective, because to pursue a career in photography, the most important factor that you require is a very strong portfolio. Without a portfolio, without showcasing what you can actually do, there is very little that you can move ahead in. And this is something that a lot of people fail to understand. So many of you will see so many people who are hobbyists, they have a camera at home, they go out, they shoot images. But why don't we call everybody a photographer then? Why are only certain people called as photographers? It's because they understand the differentiation between a snapshot and a picture, a photograph, which is a complete image that is made up of technique and aesthetical side to it as well. So at CMEDU, the programs that we have built, they have been built in such a manner that you train under experienced photographers, you get to learn from them hands-on, and you build a portfolio so that when you go out after completing any of our programs, you have something to show to the world that this is what I have done, and this is why I would want to call myself a photographer. So if we talk about the avenues today, then photography has various genres in which you can specialize in. Tanmay, if we can move to the next slide. So some of these things that you see on your screen right now, I'm sure you have heard them before, you have seen it somewhere. So basically, in photography, there are a lot of genres that you can expertise in. And usually photographers, when they start practicing, they start by practicing around them, shooting the streets around them, shooting the environment that is around them. And then slowly, when you start to understand what is your style, or where do you have your inclination towards, that is where the different avenues open up. For example, people who are largely attracted towards travel and who like to be in the outdoors, they are more drawn towards genres like your wildlife photography or your travel photography. So these genres are something which support your passion for travel, and they also help you to explore photography in that genre. Now wildlife as a genre today has become much more popular because of the advent in the technology. Today we have cameras and we have lenses which have become so advanced, and with so many rental options available, it has become a little easier than earlier to pick up a camera that you would want and a gear that you would want and go and try to practice. But again, practice is very important in any of these genres. Unless you spend a lot of time in refining your craft, only then you will be able to pick it up as a career, because you need a lot of patience and you need to spend a lot of time in all of these. Now genres like fashion, product and food, they come under the more commercial side of things. Now we call them as commercial because they are closely related to the advertising industry. So these genres are something where you would be working a lot in the studio, you would be working a lot with artificial lighting, creating certain sets, creating lighting situations and creating ambiences. So here anybody who is more on the side of you like to create something of your own, where you want complete control on what is going to be the end result of the image that you're looking for, then a career in fashion or product or food photography is something that you should be looking at, because over here you will have most of the times you will have almost 100% control on the final image that is going to happen. Whereas something like maybe your wildlife photography, and especially things like events and weddings, it is largely dependent or completely dependent on the subject and the surroundings itself. So if you're somebody who likes to work on your instincts and you like to capture stories, you like to shoot on the go, whatever is happening around you, you want to capture that, then for you, events and weddings or photojournalism would be a career that you would like to choose. Now, amongst all of this, photojournalism is a genre which is a blend with another prospective career in media, which is journalism. So journalism largely till now was looked up as, you know, only print or only newspapers. But now with the advent of digital, there is a lot more that is available for journalism, and so for photojournalism as well. So photojournalists work for news agencies or from so they capture images from a news perspective, and the storytelling side of things is something which is the most important factor when it comes to photojournalism. So being a photojournalist and a documentary photographer, I can say that if you are somebody who likes telling stories, who likes to capture things around you, and you know, anything which is of human interest or something that sparks some kind of an emotion, then this is the right place for you to be in. So and supporting to all of these genres, another genre which is closely related to photography is your image editing. Now, till some time ago, processing an image was something which was not like as popular as it is today. Today we have so many softwares which are available where you can process your images in a certain manner. It has become, you know, like in your mobile phones also, you have so many apps where you can process an image and put some kind of filters to it, make it look a little different from the way it was captured earlier. But image editing is a huge part of how the images are presented, especially when you are working in the more commercial genres such as fashion product and food photography or advertising photography. And now in these genres, image editing has become a subset of it. So a lot of times when students come to us, and if they are doing a degree program with us, through the 3 years, we teach them image editing at different levels, stage by stage. We teach them, and towards the end of the 3 years, a lot of students, they actually find their interest more towards image editing. So they learn photography, but they feel that the image editing side of it, that is something that they would actually want to build a career in. And learning photography and then becoming an image editor is something that is going to always make you better than someone else who has directly learned image editing. Because when you learn photography, you understand the editing side of it much better. So if anything needs to be changed inside an image or manipulated inside an image, you understand it much better, because you understand the reality of it, and what you do in your edit is actually very realistic, rather than somebody who does not have much knowledge. For example, light is very important in photography. Okay, so the direction of light, will guide to, how the shape and form of a thing is looking, where are the shadows happening, where are the highlights coming from. If you don't have this knowledge, if you don't understand things like, how light falls, where does it cut, if you don't understand these things, then when you are doing an image editing, what happens is you stop paying attention at these things. And that is where the difference between an image done by a professional editor and an image done by an AI software comes in. So your artificial intelligence softwares, which are there in your phones or even on your desktop version, they will help you to edit an image. But how good they are, it depends on the knowledge that is there behind it. So there are all of these avenues which are there, and I'm sure most of you you have your cameras, you are clicking images all the time. But if you feel that any one of these is something that interests you, or you want to take it one step ahead, then you should start practicing it. You should try and understand first that which is the kind of area and what kind of images do I like to click. I think that is the first step that you can take. All right. So moving from photography, a very closely related to genre from here would be, like this is still, and then we go on to moving images, which is your filmmaking side of things. So I would like Arun to please take over the conversation and talk about filmmaking.
Thank you, Purva. Hello, everyone. My name is Arun Gupta, and I'm going to speak about filmmaking. Now, I've been in the industry for last 2 decades. I've done primarily worked as a cinematographer, so I know the industry in and out. About filmmaking, filmmaking as a career is not just one thing. Filmmaking involves a lot of other aspects, starting from writing the stories to developing it, taking the ideas, selling it, shooting it, editing it, and so on. So filmmaking primarily is a team effort. Few years back, filmmaking was just cinema, but today, if you look around, filmmaking or telling stories could be in the theaters, on the television, serials, short films. Uh, with with the pandemic coming in, everybody switched to OTT. OTT and its content. There are so many platforms where there are shows, there are films, and the opportunities are virtually unlimited. So when we talk of careers in filmmaking, the avenues, there are a few that we hear, or I'm going to talk about. At CMEDU, we focus on diplomas and degrees in filmmaking, and the avenues that I'm going to speak about will talk of some of the careers that you can have when you're learning filmmaking. Tanmay, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So some of the careers that you can have or avenues in filmmaking are as writers. To make a film, whether it is short film, whether it's a long format film, whether it is even a show or a serial, you want to call it, even a small short film on YouTube, it needs an idea, and the idea needs to be developed. That comes primarily from the writer. Writing skills are something that people generally can practice, but if you know the technicalities of how to develop an idea into a story, which eventually gets made into a film, is where the learning comes in. You need to learn how to hone your skills of becoming a writer. Director, in my opinion, is the captain of the ship. The team is led by a director. In industry, it's one of the most sought after jobs. Today, if we talk of the Indian industry, we primarily lack good ideas and good writers. So that is one place where we can really look out for, people who can ideate, who can write good stories, which can be developed into films. A director's job is much, much larger. He leads the team. He has the vision of how the story is going to be. And like I said, when we ask filmmaking, the first thing that comes to people's mind is becoming a director. But as you can see on your screen, there are so many others who are involved. Director will lead the team, direct the actors, tell the story, put his perspective in. The tech, like Purva said before me about photography, I say the same thing about filmmaking. It's 50% technical and 50% creative. Creative things some people have, and you can definitely develop it. The technical has to be learned. And with the changing technology, you need to upgrade and keep yourself updated about it. Same thing goes with direction. You need to know the technical nuances of making a film, and that can happen when you learn. You can definitely learn and then practice and be a good director. Um, Today, direction and editor, these are two aspects which overlap. Editor is one who will put the film together. Now, the writer writes, the director directs the thing, and editor is going to put the film and tell you the story in its total form. Putting the things together, an editor, you can actually have a job which is working with a director, with a production house, uh, with a studio. Netflix has its own set of people that work. Amazon has the same thing. So as an editor, you can have multiple opportunities on working on multiple projects. Either have work with someone or a studio or a production house, or even freelance. Freelance editors work with different people, choose their own projects, and there is no dearth of jobs for them. Uh, they decide whether they want to work in film or a short film or a serial, or maybe even something that somebody creates for his own or her own content for YouTube. Now, cinematography, another aspect in filmmaking which pretty close to my heart, because I was a cinematographer. I is again, um, like, I wouldn't call it photography, but somewhere very similar, technical as well as very creative. And again, you need to know both these things. The creative aspect people do hone and check and polish, but the technical aspect, it needs to be learned. And then the more you practice, the more you work, is where it helps you. Um, you can work in different genres. Well, like I said, today we have innumerable avenues with respect to cinemas, OTTs, television, even documentaries, wildlife documentary, or mm, general documentaries that come on. You need a good set of skills to work as a cinematographer in any of these. Uh, the the avenues in filmmaking are quite a lot, and like Purva was saying, we need to have the technical side which has to be learned, and we need to practice it. Here at SEAM, most of our learning is with emphasis on practicing. Um, Obviously, there are other aspects and avenues, independent freelance videographers and editors who have their own channels, the YouTube channels, or bloggers, or independent content creators. It all depends on what y'all want to do, whether y'all want to create your own content or work as a cinematographer or as an editor. The choices and opportunities depend purely on where your interest lies. Um at this stage, you can even try and get join one of our programs, which is the Gear Up, and get a feel of what it is to do or get into one of these professions, if I may call so. And if one aspect interests you, then you can obviously take it ahead and figure out what it is that you would want to do. Um, Filmmaking, there's a lot more that just a feature film today. Um, and I think that's all I can say right now. The other career that I think we will speak about is about sound, and I'll ask my colleague Monish to come online. Monish?
Thank you, Arun. Hey guys, so I'm Mohanish Deshmukh. I'm basically a music producer. I work with record labels in Bombay like Z Music, Sony Music, Eros Now, etc. I also happen to be a CMedu student. I studied at CMedu about 11 years back. After which I've done a few certification courses and I've been working in the industry since then. I take care of the virtual learning department and the sound engineering department at CMedu. So, as everybody has spoken about the different courses that we have at CMedu, uh, I just want to point out that you see a lot of content on YouTube when it comes to audio production or any of the media courses that we offer over here. But what none of these channels can provide is the industry experience that the faculty over here at CMedu brings, because all the faculty that we have over here have a lot of experience in working in the industry. So that is one very important thing, because that sets you apart, that sets you ahead of all the other people who are just who just have the textbook knowledge of things but not really any industry knowledge. We offer a lot of courses over here at CMedu, right from 1 month to 3 years, in all different verticals. In audio production also, we have a diploma, we have gear ups, we have engage, we have SBL Pro, we have degrees. So yeah, there's a whole wide spectrum of different courses that you can do. Tanmay, can we go to the next slide? Speaking about the different avenues in audio production, I'll go over this quickly since we are running a little late. So we have music producers in the industry. These are the people who mainly make the music that you listen to. They are the programmers. They are the people who actually sit and write down different melodies. They sit with the DAW and do different things within it to make it sound good. Then you have game audio, which is a big booming industry right now. Uh, I think game is the biggest industry in the world right now, and the audio for that, it's a completely different breed of engineers who work on game audio. uh, Next, you have the mixing engineer and the mastering engineer. These are the professionals who make all your different tracks within a song, or let's say if it's a mix for a movie, they make all your different tracks sound good, cohesive, and different songs in an album. They make it sound like it's one album instead of different songs. Then you have your live sound engineering avenue, which is basically another big avenue right now, because a lot of festivals are happening around the country, a lot of live shows, a lot of venues host shows. And to be a live sound engineer is a completely different thing than being a studio engineer, because you have to do things on the spot. You have to be confident. You have to do things that you cannot undo. So yeah, there's that. Then there's the sound designer. Sound designer, as Purva and Arun have spoken, film is about storytelling. So sound designing is a big part of that. If you watch a movie without a sound, a lot of times you won't be able to connect to it. There won't be that immersiveness to the film. What a sound designer does is he makes that he takes the director's vision, he takes the director what the director wants to portray, and he gives it to the audience in an auditory in the audio spectrum of things. So yeah, these are the different avenues in audio production. I would like to invite Purva back to give her closing thoughts and do a quick question and answer round.
Thank you, Monish. So through all these, various avenues that we have brought up to all of you, the one thing which becomes the key is, and I'm sure all of you by now have this question that, okay, amongst these different careers that you have been talking about, this is something that I find interesting, but then where do I start? So the starting point of anything is from learning, exploring, and then practicing it. And for this, we have got something called as a Gear Up programs for all of you. So our Gear Up programs are 2-day workshops. So these workshops will happen on 19th and 20th of November. So we are bringing 4 workshops for all of you as of now. So if you're interested in photography, we have a Adobe Photoshop for beginners program. Then we have a sound engineering program, which is music production using Ableton Live 2. And Then in journalism, we have news on reels. So reels is something that is very popular with all of you today. So how to make news on these reels is something that we are going to teach you. And if you are interested in game development, then we have a Unity 2D game development program. So within these 2 days, on 19th and 20th, you can pick up any one of this program. You can learn with us, and we guarantee that you will learn a new skill, and you will take back something that you can boost off. You can definitely see a change in the way you are doing things, or you will learn something new from which you can build up to deciding whether this is something which is I am passionate about. Can I take this ahead, somewhere as maybe a career or something that is a path that I want to take in the long run. So these gear ups will help you to connect with one of your passion, and from there you can take it ahead. So if you want to understand more details about all of these career options that we have given you right now, and what are the career prospects of it, please do visit our website, which is cmedu.com, and over there you will find all the programs that we have lined up for you. So gear up is just one of the different programs that we offer. This is for students like you who would want to give yourself a chance to explore something new and learn a new skill. Building from there would be our SBL Engage programs, which are our online 1 month programs. So these are virtual programs designed for students who want to learn with a trainer in front of them. So you will find a lot of programs online today on YouTube and so many other platforms, but they will all be pre-recorded where you can watch the video, you can replay and try to understand. But the programs that you do with us, whether it is the Gear Up, which is going to be online, or our SBL Engage programs, or even our SBL Pro virtual learning programs, all of these programs are designed where right now how we are interacting with all of you, which is a one-on-one interaction, you get that advantage. And that is why we would encourage that if you feel like you want to take up a new skill, or if you already have some interest, you have done something in one of these fields, you should definitely come and join the workshop, which is Gear Up. So Gear Ups are completely free for all of you. You can I'm sure these posters have been circulated to you. If not, you can keep a screenshot of this. There is a QR code over there. You can scan the QR code. It will take you to our website where you can register for the programs. Registering is very important so that we have a database of how many students are coming, and our sessions will be planned according to that. Because as I said, it's going to be a trainer who is going to sit in front of you and teach you something one-on-one. So make the most of these programs. They will help you to develop a new skills. And through this entire presentation, if as I said, if we have inspired you to look at these careers from a different perspective, then please go to our website, read more. And there are a lot of blogs also present on our website, which will help you understand more in depth about these fields. Each of our faculty members and a lot of experts on our panel, they have written blogs which are related to all of these careers. So there are small little topics here and there which we have picked up and we have written about it. A little more. Okay. So with that, I think I would like to open the panel for Q&As. Also, for those of you who are comfortable, in talking in Hindi, or you would like to ask a certain question, please either you can type, or Tanmay, would we be able to unmute them if they want? Is that possible?
You can just raise your hand and I'll unmute them.
Yeah. So anybody who has a query, there is a raise hand button right there at the bottom. So you can just click on that, and so that we get indicated that you need to ask a question, and we'll unmute you. At this point, if you open your chat box, you will also see our website being shared. and all the program details are over there for the gear ups also. Also, most of the all of our panelists, we are comfortable in English, Hindi, and Marathi, all three languages. So, if anybody has a question in any of in either Hindi or Marathi, please feel free to raise your hand, and we'll be glad to answer.